make out on a bale of hay before. Trust me, it was not comfortable. Despite how worried I was, I stifled a giggle. And documented all for your followers, of course. Just don't get too serious. I want you back here early next year. We've still got the Whams promotion booked for January. I called them today, and as long as your followers don't drop below 2.7 million, they're happy to go ahead. By that time, I'm sure all will be forgotten, and we'll be back to business as usual. As unrealistic as Serena's fantasy was, hot lumberjacks were in short supply in Sapphire Springs, and I'd sworn off flings in any event. Spending a couple of months back home wasn't a terrible idea. If I was being honest with myself, I was in a slump. Tired of my life in LA, tired of thinking up new content, and tired of the unpredictability of my career. Being almost canceled was a wake-up call. Something had to change. Perhaps time away from LA would help me work out what it was. Chapter 1. Jenny. God damn it! I refreshed the page, chewing on my lip and glaring at my phone, willing the numbers to increase. Still only 1,234 views and 20 likes. Ugh. Apparently videos of me and Walter in matching flannel standing in front of a rustic barn in the Hudson Valley with fall leaves floating down on us didn't have the public appeal Serena had predicted. I thought we looked super cute, but it appeared my followers weren't into lumber sexual attire and wholesome fall scenes. I'd roped poor Dad into standing on a ladder and throwing leaves over us for nothing. A message from Amanda popped onto the screen. "Where are you? We're starting in 5 mins!" I stood up from the toilet seat I'd been perching on and was reaching for the door when I heard footsteps. My heart sank. I was not in the mood for any awkward restroom encounters, especially not with my former teachers. And since I was in the teacher's restroom at Sapphire Springs High, that was a clear and present danger. In fact, the first person I saw when I stepped foot in the high school 20 minutes ago was Mrs. Harding, the English teacher who'd been the bane of my existence in sophomore year. Memories of reading aloud in her class, my face hot with embarrassment as I stumbled over the pages of To Kill a Mockingbird, came flooding back. I had fought a strong urge to turn right around and run as fast as my jumpsuit would allow in the other direction. While I'd enjoyed the social aspects of high school, the academic side of things had been a struggle. A dyslexia diagnosis in my early 20s had explained a lot. Unfortunately, I didn't get that diagnosis in time to make school a less painful experience. I breathed out in relief as 2 women began to speak. They most definitely weren't Mrs. Harding. I would recognize her voice anywhere. "Are you coming to the careers talk?" The other woman sighed. "Yes. Did you see who the panelists are? One of them is a social media influencer." I winced at the derision in her voice, positive she'd paired her words with a dramatic eye roll. That's not exactly a career. Usually these types of comments rolled over me like water off a duck's back. A lot more hard work and creativity went into being an influencer than most people realized, and I was proud of what I'd achieved. But her words hit me harder than usual. "Yeah, I don't know what Amanda was thinking. The kids are obsessed enough with their phones as it is. We shouldn't be promoting influencing as a career option." I silently cursed Amanda for convincing me to do this. My phone buzzed. Amanda had sent me another message. "Meet me in the auditorium ASAP. We're about to start and Walter is getting antsy." I suspected Amanda was projecting her own emotions onto Walter, who took pretty much everything in stride. When, at Charlie the Instagram cat had taken a chunk out of his leg a few weeks ago, Walter had only let out one plaintive yelp, and then gracefully removed himself from the situation by leaping into my arms. I checked the time. Shit. I needed to leave now, or I would be late. Unfortunately, that meant I couldn't hide in the stall until the women left. I took a deep breath, braced myself, and opened the door. 2 women in their 40s were reapplying lipstick over the sinks. They glanced at my reflection in the mirror without recognition. Thank God. One awkward encounter avoided. I washed my hands, checked I looked presentable in the mirror, and rushed out of the bathroom. I knew this was a terrible idea when Amanda had FaceTimed me in a panic yesterday morning, only hours after I'd arrived in Sapphire Springs, exhausted after the red-eye flight. The journalist she'd lined up for the careers panel had dropped out at the last minute, and she was desperate. The journalist was the only person the kids were actually excited about. Without her, I'm worried they're going to totally zone out. Having a homegrown TikTok sensation who lives a glamorous Hollywood lifestyle would really zhuzh up the